What is up, guys? It's Marcus of Well Played Games here, playing something a little bit different than what I'm usually playing. I'm not playing any rogue garbage this time. We're actually playing something a lot more defining in the metagame right now. I'm not going to go too far into it, I'm just going to get right into it. Starting off with our lineup, 3 of all the names, 3 Lulu, Lao Lao, Lily, Gigi, and 2 Nyan Nyan. Some people will cut down on the last 3, and I think they're silly. I don't know why they would do that. Especially in hybrid variants, you want to see more of these names in multiples, except for Nyan Nyan, because Nyan Nyan is both your normal summon and a brick in multiples. Best Ash bait in the deck, 3 copies of Kowloon. Your force to negate your King Long and also your greatest searcher. Your greatest interruptions, Chuche, and your level modulation, and your Monster Reborn and the other effect that never comes up. I couldn't even tell you what it is, and I'm playing the deck, Zhangwu. Onto our supplementary engine, 3 Water Enchantress, Griffin Rider, Rite of Aramesir, Fateful Adventure, and Draco back the Rideable Dragon. Really good engine. Baits out negates, puts up a negate, gets you free discards to get all your other virtual world effects off engrave. It's one of the best things that you can do for this deck. Onto our other power cards. 1 of the recently unbanned Fairy Tale Snow. They should not have brought this card back. I'm so sorry. It is not fair. Oh my goodness. Being able to set up with Beatrice plays in the graveyard, being able to just pitch it from your hand for free, being able to interrupt any like really strong plays your opponent can have, it's not fair. 3 copies of Italy. Nyan Nyan is a psychic, Lulu is a psychic, games 2 and 3, Ghost Ogre is a psychic. It comes up quite a lot in this deck. 3 copies of Triple Tactics Talent because people are dumb enough to Ash and Ogre me in the main phase, and I thank them for it. I actually had a game where I had to force out a Veiler and a Dragoon, and I Triple Tactics took his Dragoon and punched him for 4k. It was really, really nice. Last on least, 1 copy of Pod Desires, because the interaction between Pod Desires and Nyan Nyan is that Nyan Nyan can shuffle back face down banished cards, and being able to recur any resource that you need off of just a banished Nyan Nyan really, really helps. Extra deck has a few flex spots, but this is what I personally used. 1 Invoked Kaliga, we make this with the Muddy Mud Dragon play. 1 Breaksword, because we couldn't find a copy of Fortune Tune, but it still does come up. 1 copy of Beatrice, this card is so good. Send anything from your deck to graveyard for free, and bring back anything from your graveyard with M7. And the 1 copy of Zeus to just round out all our XCs. You can't not play any of these 3. You must play these if you're going to play this deck. The rank 3s are always a little bit to your personal preference, and this is purely a flex spot. Onto our synchros, which you do play a lot of. Muddy Mud Dragon for the Kaliga play and to make Hot Red Abyss. Stardust Charge and Coral Dragon for the Ultimaya Zulkin play. 1 copy of Virtual World Beast Juju. I noticed that the Hauke Fibrax builds mostly play this to end on the Keep a Pitch line, but this is also just a really good card in general because it will also act as your spot removal. It banishes to send a card from field to graveyard. It's really, really strong. 1 Crystal Wing to go with our Ultimaya Zulkin. 1 Shen Shen because some decks really don't like having their cards banished, and I say I don't care. 1 Abyss because playing around Dark Ruler and Droplet is really, really nice. 1 copy of Supreme Sword Soul Sovereign Cheng Ying. This was another flex spot for me. It comes up sometimes when I have access to both Baron and it, but those situations are few and far between. Speaking of, 1 copy of Baron de Fleur. Strong negate, recur possible floodgates like Scythe or Lancia, and 1 copy of Ultimaya to summon a Crystal Wing. There are a few spots you can change in this deck. You can play cards like Gamma in the main, which I'm playing in the side for this, but it is good to counteract the Lancia, Ash, Ogre, etc., etc. You can also play Omega because this build specifically doesn't have access to a lot of regular 8 synchro plays. It mainly leads into 6s, 9s, 10s, and Xyzs. If you also want to investigate with different lines for Muddy Mudragon, and you're doing different lines, you can do the Halka Fibrax and end on a Raijin, which having 2 Book of Moons is pretty strong. You can also end on Dragoon if you feel so inclined and want to have that extra negate to stop the Evenly, the Lightning Storm, insert power card here. This deck is relatively flexible with what you can do with it. It's not linear like Phantom Knight's Brave or Prankid's Brave or every other Brave variant, because those decks don't have the range of cards you can fit into them without making them go into 60 card piles, and I didn't want to do that. I went against 2 Sword Soul players. I 2-0'd the first one, and then I just bricked the second one. It was a 2-1 game. I went against a pile that had 10 Yi, and it had like 18 hand traps, and it had a bunch of really weird things like Dragoon. That's one of my triple tactics. I went against another pile deck, and their resources are strong, but this deck's grind game has a lot more versatility against the resource that they're putting up. It's essentially it for this. There will be other changes to come with more events, but for the first time playing this deck, it did what I wanted it to do. Can't say anything else other than that.
All right. So that's it. Just
pretty much it. Other than that, I'm tired.
No, that's good.
I'm so tired.
No,
oh my god.
because
Yeah.
the heat turned
You did the
like
extra?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did extra.
You did some slight theory.
Yeah. You're not gonna do a side deck, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, slight theory.
No.
All right. So you can just say the outro.
That's pretty much been it. This has been Marcus with We'll Play Games. We'll see you next time.